93%. That's the number that just exploded across the XRP community. And no, it's not a price prediction. It's a wake-up call. Because this week, the European Central Bank quietly confirmed what Ripple insiders have been warning about for years. A global shift in money is already happening, and 93% of people still asleep. While headlines focus on hype coins and market noise, the real action is underground. XRP isn't just surviving, it's being positioned as the bridge between old money and what's coming next. And just when the markets seemed quiet, the ECB let something slip, and it changes everything. So if you think crypto adoption is just about charts, vibes, and influencers, this video might hit different. Let's get into it. Less than 7% of the global population owns any cryptocurrency at all. That means over 93% of the world, nearly 7.3 billion people, have zero stake in what could be the biggest financial reset of our lifetime. Now think about this. If you're watching this video, you're already ahead of 93% of the planet. But here's the catch. Being early doesn't help if you don't understand what's being built right under your feet, because governments, banks, and payment giants do understand, and they're already setting the rules. XRP is part of that playbook, not because of hype, but because of what it's designed to do. Seamless global settlement, instant liquidity, interoperability across borders, the 93%, they'll wake up eventually, but by then, the architecture will already be in place. Let's talk about the interview that started all this. The president of the European Central Bank was asked why a digital euro, the EU's central bank digital currency, is a good thing. Her answer? It's for everyone. She referenced China's CBDC rollout and said if it's done well, it could benefit all citizens. That may sound nice, but it's exactly what critics feared, because the why was missing. CBDCs aren't just digital cash, they're programmable, and they're central bank controlled. This isn't innovation, it's control repackaged as convenience. Imagine a world where every transaction is tracked, where funds can be frozen instantly.
Now we have in Europe this threshold. Above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash.
Where behavior can be influenced through programmable incentives. And now imagine that's the only money you're allowed to use. That's the quiet threat. And the ECB's language is beginning to echo systems we've seen in places like China, where financial surveillance is no longer theory, it's reality. XRP, on the other hand, wasn't built to enforce control. It was built to move value instantly and trustlessly, with no central authority dictating how it's used. This isn't about tribalism, it's about infrastructure, and infrastructure wins in the long run. As Europe pushes hard for a centralized digital euro, the US is starting to resist. Lawmakers are debating a bill that would outright ban federal CBDCs, citing concerns over privacy, coercion, and unchecked surveillance. We are now watching two financial superpowers sprinting in opposite directions. One is building a digital system of control, the other, struggling to define what freedom in finance even looks like. In the middle of that is XRP, not aligned with either government but integrated into both ecosystems. XRP has already passed key hurdles, used by banks in Japan and South Korea, adopted for cross-border payments in the Middle East, and recently integrated into asset tokenization platforms in Latin America. That's not speculation, that's deployment. While lawmakers argue XRP is quietly establishing itself as a neutral protocol layer, not a coin chasing headlines, but a bridge solving trillion-dollar bottlenecks. In Brazil, Mercado Bitcoin just announced it's tokenizing $200 million worth of real-world assets, including sovereign bonds, on the XRP ledger. And they're not alone. We are entering a world where value isn't passed with contracts and paperwork. It's passed with code, secured by blockchains, verified in seconds, and accessible globally. Tokenized real estate, tokenized debt, tokenized carbon credits. All of it is already in motion. And XRP is one of the few networks actually handling these transactions at scale. Why XRP? Because it's fast, cheap, reliable, battle-tested, and critically, it's designed for interoperability, something most blockchains struggle with. That's why institutions are choosing it, not because of retail hype, but because it works. As we move deeper into this new financial architecture, value will settle where it flows fastest, and XRP is quietly becoming the rails. During the 4th of July weekend, Ripple's CTO, David Schwartz, posted a selfie of himself riding a dragon. To some, it was just a meme. To XRP veterans, it was something more. This community has been conditioned to read between the lines, because Ripple execs rarely speak plainly about future integrations. And for good reason. Regulatory ambiguity has kept XRP under the microscope. But the builders, they've never stopped. And every tweet, every image, every Easter egg becomes a potential breadcrumb. Now, are we overanalyzing? Maybe. But this isn't about tinfoil hats. It's about recognizing that when a billion-dollar company is silent on its biggest moves, the clues often come disguised as jokes. Whether the dragon means anything or not, one thing is clear: the XRP community isn't just watching price, they're watching positioning. Crypto right now feels sleepy. Bitcoin's flat, Ethereum's drifting, XRP is hovering around 50 cents to 60 cents. But don't mistake quiet for safety. We've seen this before. Right before massive legislation, right before ETFs, right before adoption spikes. Volatility doesn't ring the doorbell, it just walks in. And Sundays? Sundays are notorious. Weekly candle closes followed by Monday reversals. That's why experienced traders never leave positions unguarded over the weekend. But long-term, the signals are aligning. Institutional activity is increasing. Tokenization headlines are growing, CBDC frameworks are tightening, and XRP is everywhere in the background, not screaming for attention, just building. In crypto, hype fades, but utility stays. So let's wrap this up. The European Central Bank wants you to believe their new digital system is for everyone. But control systems rarely wear a warning label. Meanwhile, XRP continues to build, not as a coin for speculation, but as a protocol for value transfer. Quiet, reliable, borderless, and while 93% of the world is still watching from the sidelines, the rails are already being laid. The question is, are you paying attention? Thanks for watching. If this opened your eyes to what's really building under the surface, hit like, share it forward, and subscribe for more. Stay sharp, stay ahead. See you in the next one.